I have to.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is one and only Tani. And in today's video, I'm going to interview a very special person. Well, her name is Carolina. She's a clarity coach, a 3P coach, and a mentor. So, without any further ado, let's welcome Carolina. Hi, Carolina. Today.
Hi, Karen. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. And I know that you are sharing this to help people feel better and have a better experience of the life. So with that in mind, thank you with my whole heart. I think it's very needed always, but especially at this time. And well, a little bit about me. So you may hear a bit of an accent. I'm from Argentina originally, and that's my cat. That's not me doing another voice. So I came to live in the UK about 21 years ago, exactly in December, and I came to know the principles about nearly 10 years ago. So completely by chance, I thought I was going to a different workshop, and I ended up at Ian Watson's workshop. Thinking it was about homeopathy, and it wasn't. It was like about the principles, and so and I really didn't get it when I went there. I didn't get it. Little I knew it was going to completely change my life once I saw it, and I've been very lucky, as you said. You know, I've been able to train with amazing teachers. Also, probably the possibility of being here in England, and they come to the conferences like once a year when we used to be in person. Now we can do it online. This is one of the great things. Like you and me can now. You can be in India, I can be in the UK, in England, and just have this conversation. So what can I say? Yes, I am a teacher of, I'm a mentor. We have just started with Marina Galan and Laura Mesa and a whole amazing group through Principles in Spanish. And as you know, we are working very hard, as with you, on bringing the principles to other languages. That is not just English. And that's happening now. But I'm always still a beginner. So I'm happy to tell you just a little bit that I know, that I know to be true.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that these principles have changed the life of lots of people. And hearing about you, like your struggle, your hard work, and how far you have reached in your journey, it is very much inspiring.
Yeah. It's been. Would you like me to tell you a little bit about how this changed my life? Yeah. So I hope it's useful. I think when we share our experiences is that we bring hope to the table, and I hope that's what I can do here for people today. So I used to suffer of like panic attacks. I could have like 10 more, sometimes 20 panic attacks a day, sometimes like on repetition. So it will look like it was going down, and then it will restart again, even with more, and then the worst thing is when people try to reason with you about anything at that point, because you feel that you are dying, that you are really, that's the experience, that you can't breathe, you can't think logically. That doesn't, whatever's trigger you, you may think it's something, or somebody else thinks it's something in particular, but this is a thought that just so quickly can trigger you to feel that you are in a situation where your life is at risk. And in just seconds, you can be in this state of like absolute terror. And the thing is that happens in a way to protect you, because you really think you are at risk. But and then there is what we add to it with our thinking. So say you may be with other people that are trying to tell you that you're fine, that you're okay, or that you just stop it, you're being silly, there's nothing to be afraid of, or whatever. And then you start thinking, oh my gosh, on top of all of that, either they don't understand what I'm going through, or they don't see me, or I feel ashamed of being like this. There's something obviously wrong with me. There's something that is broken. And you start fearing going out or doing stuff or having relationships, because you think once they see that you're broken, once they see that side of you that looks like, the Hyde to your Jekyll, or your Jekyll to your Hyde, but so when they see what you think is like a monster, is that the ugly part of you, that they're not going to love you anymore. They're going to, they will run to the hills in thinking how broken you are. So now you're not only having the panic attacks and the anxiety, now you start having more anxiety because of the thinking you accumulate on top of that. And what do you think that says about you, right? So what kind of mother I'm going to be if I'm like that? What kind of teacher I'm going to be if I'm like that? I can't go somewhere and be responsible as an adult if suddenly I can't control myself and I have to run into a bathroom and just, have a panic attack and then try to look presentable and hope that it doesn't come back again, or make some excuse of me feeling sick and just leaving because I couldn't. Well, and I know when I talk about this is a reality for a lot of people, and a reality for a lot of people that would keep it as silent as possible and behind closed doors, because they're afraid of talking about that and then be in a category of some mental health sort of problematic person, right? So and once you have some sort of a mental health description, also people don't, it's like they lose respect for what you could do or say, or because she's a little bit of a freak or whatever, or not, or poor dear, so for me, I remember already knowing a little bit about the principles, probably maybe 4, 5, 6 months in, and Ian Watson puts a video from Dr. Bill Pettit. And Dr. Bill Pettit, who is a psychiatrist, and he's amazing, and he's been one of the original students of Sydney Banks, or whatever you want to call it, or so that I learned directly from Sydney Banks, who uncovered the principles, was saying on that video, nobody's broken. You are sitting in perfect mental health. You have always been. There's nothing wrong with you. And Karen, I heard that, like, that hit me, like a ton of bricks. It was just like directly to my heart, to my brain, to everything I knew to be true until then. And I just started crying and then sobbing without knowing what's just happened. And with such a relief, and that took me out of the prison of my thinking. That told me that I was fine. And I just created some thinking around certain things that was, you know, a way of helping me cope with difficult circumstances. So once I didn't do anything. It wasn't a doing, it wasn't a practice. But once I saw that for myself, something calmed down in me. And those panic attacks started sort of like fading without me even realizing. I wasn't just like, oh, when is this panic attack going to come now? Or I would have a panic attack and I would be okay with it, which that was a total different experience. To be in a panic attack thinking I'm dying, but something in me going, you're okay. We'll get through this. You're fine. And also allow me to tell the people that may be close to me in those circumstances what helps me, because I could see more clear. Because they're like, you know, don't try to hug me. If I go for a hug, just let's do that. But sometimes because I feel I can't breathe, you are doing the opposite that helps me. And just don't feel bad if I push you away or just say, like, no, just leave me. Because I know the other thing is, it's like one of those matrix movements in low motion. Now it comes slowly. So I start feeling coming up, and it helps me sort of like, it's like it helps you position yourself to either dodge the bullet. You can tell I saw Matrix like 2 days ago, the latest one. So, or you're in a better state, because maybe what is going to trigger that panic attack is burnt toast. It's like, you can scrap the black bits, but it's burnt toast. It's burnt toast. Just don't try to fix it. It's just burnt toast. So I can have a full-blown panic attack. Just be okay with the experience. I'm not fighting to get out of it. I don't enjoy it, right? It's not by any means, it's not a great experience. But it's one of those things that I also heard Sidi Bang said, and I read, and if only people wouldn't be afraid of their experience, that alone will change the world. And I can tell you by experience that that is true. My world has changed. I can start this call with you and be a little bit shaky, and because of whatever I think, you're going to think, you're going to like what I say or not, or, and then soon enough be here in a really good feeling. Because I'm not afraid of being afraid now. It's okay. Does that sort of answer any questions, or is there anything you would like to know?
Great. Yeah, this is I see like people having depression, anxiety, going through emotional pain, panic attacks, and suddenly when they have an insight, their whole life changes. Like as you said, you used to have panic attacks, but when you heard Bill Petit say that nothing is wrong with you, you are free, you always have this innate mental health within you. So this was the moment of insight. So would you like talk something like elaborate on insight?
And anxiety.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, not on insight. Sight
On
from within.
insight. Or insight. Yeah, yeah. Um, I tell you what, when you have a great insight, or in my case at least, then it's like you had such a great time because the world has completely changed. Everything is the same, but suddenly it's a better world. You see things differently. It's like you have just put up, it's like you get the glasses that you need with the right lenses for you to see better, and suddenly you see so much better. Um, and But then you're just there waiting for the next pair of glasses because that you get used to that. And then I'm there going like, well, okay, when is my next insight coming? It's like, it was supposed to be at 6 o'clock today in the afternoon, and it's not here. So so insights don't come when you and me or anybody else wants them. They just come when you're ready, and you have to be okay with that. But I'll say, be ready for them to arrive. It's like, be fertile soil for when that seed goes down into the ground, because it will grow way more than you ever thought it would. Um, I when I found the principles, whether you want to call it, it was like, I don't know, but it was the right timing. For people who believe in God, it was like, God just hold me in his or hers or its hands, and just just got my back. The intelligence behind everything. So whatever you want to call that. Because it was turbulent times ahead. It really was. That same year, I separated and then divorced from my husband, which I never ever thought that was going to happen. It became more obvious that that was the best thing for all of us. It was really difficult and painful in several ways. Also, economically, it was the difficult time. But somehow something had my back, and like few days before we decided, it was completely unexpected that we decided to separate. A few days before that, I was in Argentina, and my dad tells me that his cancer that he had been without for a year and a half, it was supposed to be completely cleared, had come back and now was not treatable. So, and the doctor wouldn't tell him how long he had, in a way. So we didn't know if that was like a week, 3 months, a year, 3 years. And I came back from Argentina not knowing if I had to jump on a plane back to talk to my husband and sort of cry in his arms, to then realize that we're separating. And then during all those times, I will take care of my dad with calls and doctors and on the phone, and WhatsApp and whatever I could from here with my sisters. And it was really, really hard. And then 3 years ago, he just couldn't take it anymore, and he committed suicide. So he shot himself.
Okay.
So I realized that innocently, in my head, I had all these scenarios where I have been to my dad's funeral so many times, but he died of cancer. You see how we think, how we think we can organize ourselves for the future, but you don't know what the future brings. In the same way, you don't know what the future brings for great things. For me, really wanting to do certain trainings and thinking, there's no way I can afford this. And then I had people that have been incredibly generous with me, saying, what can you pay? Just pay it in 100 billion years. Okay. Don't worry, you owe me nothing. You just come and, I was supported. There were things that, money that came unexpectedly, that I needed that. And then suddenly somebody was like, yeah, I want this, or I want for you to be my coach for. And I was like, but I'm not sure. I was like, do they know that I don't know that much? And they were just, so. And I'm telling you that my worst anxiety and panic was all before this. Okay. And then we have all these years where my dad will either be in a situation where we didn't know if he was going to make it, or he will overdose because he was desperate, or and in that time I met Wayne Yates, who is my partner and who has cerebral palsy. But when I saw him, I didn't see his cerebral palsy. I just saw him. And I can't tell you if I would have seen him or not like that before. But what I saw was, I started seeing people just for who they are. What I saw was the packaging outside. And sometimes the insights are so small, you don't realize. It's like you just move slightly like this, and then slightly like this. But obviously it's like the earth. We don't see it sort of turn, and we don't see the earth going around the sun. And it takes like those 365 and a bit days to sort of go around the sun. But we don't really see the amount of travel that we've done, right? And we are in a complete different place. This is not the same place the Earth was last year on the 29th of December. Looks like it, but it's just in a different place in the universe. And we've done all that travel, right? Whether the world was having a pandemic, or we were having babies, or we were celebrating something amazing, or we were thriving with our jobs, or we were like with a few pennies in our pockets. Like, we've done all that. So with insights, what I usually try to remind myself is to be grateful for what I've seen, and not to be going, okay, and now what more, right? So what's next? Because There's so much I've seen and so much I haven't even realized that I've seen. So when I'm not feeling so good, or I feel things are not the way I would like them to be, soon enough, I think, well, what I've learned from the principles, it can't come from there. So I'm sure it's not, Karen that said something that I didn't like. You could say something, but obviously. But what I made with that, what I think about what you say, or what I think about the situation, that's completely up to me. Was my dad passing one of the worst days of my life? It was. Was it hard to understand? Still is. Was it a relief? It was. It was. There was a sense of relief and some joy of this pain for him, for us, this type of pain. That one is no more in that sense. Now I can make out whatever I want. Now I can be the victim of what's happened to me because of my dad's decision. Or at some point, it took me nearly 3 years to see that I finally came to terms to accepting that he had the right to decide about his life. And see it in a different light, from a different insight. Sorry, I could talk for days. This talk could last for like 3 days. So you tell me that if there's something that you would like to hear about, or is there something you would like to tell me and share, or
First of all, I would like to say that like not everybody can be so strong after experiencing such things in their life, and seeing you with a different perception, seeing you so happy after one of those experiences, that that makes it like possible even for those who are like in such traumatic experiences or who have been through so much, because uh, it just says that we all have this power to be free, and we all can be happy no matter what. Right. So what are your thoughts on depression these days? Like everybody's life has been hectic, with the work, family, technology, all the responsibilities, and people get depressed easily. So, what is the cause of depression and how to overcome it?
oh, that may be above my pay rate, as I say in English, like that. I'll try to answer the best that I can to my knowledge of what I felt as depression, and I feel as depression sometimes. One of the things that I found very helpful is to know that I thought depression was like a constant. I thought, well, I'm depressed. What do we do? You know, it's like I'm gonna wake up depressed, and I'm gonna go to sleep depressed, and I'm gonna wake up the next day depressed, and that's my life. And then when I came to learn about the principles, I learned that, oh, people are not in the same state of mind all the time. It just takes one thought away, Siddhiban said, one thought away. That means you could be in this amount of depressing thinking, which is that you are in the same way that Jamie Smart will say, you just put like these glasses of light, seeing dark, right? It's like if I go and put on my sunglasses now, it's like everything will look dark and difficult, and will probably be, not see where I'm going, and not seeing clearly. As soon as you realize that you just have glasses of seeing everything, a lot of contaminated thinking in terms of life is not worth living. I'm never going to find happiness. I am broken. The world does things to me, right? Say, I live in a bad place. My neighbors are horrible. I don't earn enough money. I'm never going to be good to do that. I don't have enough energy. Whatever it is that I tell myself. And you start losing hope. That for me will be the best definition of depression. Hope. You can't see hope. You can't see that there is something in the horizon that's going to be better than how you're feeling in the moment. So, but if suddenly something is funny, or if you just see if you have a child, or you have a cat, or you have I don't know, you put the telly and there's something that suddenly is funny, you get out, even if it's for a second. It just takes a minimum tiny bit of light for darkness to stop being darkness. Just tiny bit of light. That's hope. That is hope. So if you know that you're not gonna ever, nobody can live in the same permanent state of anything. Nobody can live constantly in happiness or in love or in, but so that's liberating, because anytime now there could be a little window to escape out of that. Any time you want, you just distract yourself, like you just go wash the dishes, or uh, I don't know, water the plants, cook something for yourself, just read a book, listen to music, or whatever. No, it's not a doing, it's like just get out of that thinking, that that you are like sort of like chewing like a cow again and again and again, ruminating, right, on how horrible everything is. Just don't take it so seriously. That's what we do. We think that what we think is information about ourselves and our lives in the world. There's very little truth. It's like really, really bad information about what's really going on. If you think you are absolutely unlovable, that is rubbish. Nobody is lovable. Somebody, somewhere, probably more people than you think, will love you or they're loving you without you realizing. You just walk in front of a puppy and go, you're loved instantly. Like, just takes 2 seconds. So that will just completely take away your conviction that you're not lovable. You just look at a child, any toddler, any baby will just go, as soon as you smile or you play or you just there, they're just, they don't care how much money you earn or how handsome or pretty or not you think you are, or how intelligent or how well you're doing in your business or not. Nobody cares. As far as you can just be there or play or just be there. You'll be loved. So that belief that you're broken and lovable, that's not very good information that you're giving yourself. So I think we also live in a world where what we think is happiness is a bit overrated. And you're in India, and this may be a cliche, but I absolutely love I really love the Bollywood, movies. I just love the dancing and the colors, happiness, everything is easy and simple. And as far as obviously I receive what comes here from India. I don't know, as we all know, when you live in the country, things are not always what you get as in another country, right? But sometimes we think life is like that. We just think that relationships are, oh, because I love you, we should always understand each other and never think that you're an idiot. Or have doubts about whether I should be with somebody else because maybe you're not as interesting as I thought you were. Or, that happens all the time. That happens every day with me and Wayne, all the time. He probably sees me at some point, he goes, oh, she's so pretty. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, oh, God, she's so annoying. Yet again, about how I want him to wash the dishes or, and it's not constant. And it's okay. And when I'm thinking he's really annoying today, he's like, he's annoying, and that makes him not sexy, and that makes him like, I think he's an idiot, and maybe I should be with somebody else because we're never going to understand each other, and this is a defining moment of our relationship, and this is telling me about whether I should go somewhere else. That's a very important moment for me to just check where I am in my thinking, check if I am the one that is in a bad mood, has put the criticizing glasses, and now all I can see of Wayne is what I don't think is right about him. And quite often I drop into connection again with him. And when we don't like each other, or we feel that we are not exactly what we have chosen and it's perfect, that's okay too, That's okay too. And then we can be like, rah, 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 like two dogs like barking at each other. We don't usually have arguments much like that, but we're not afraid of that no, you're right, no, I'm right. And then 2 seconds later, we're just laughing our socks off because, or we just go red flag, or just let's agree to disagree, and we take some time off too, because we know that in that place, there are no answers. So, if you realize that you want life to look like what a picture of Disney World looks like, you're not gonna be very happy. Because part of being in life and being a human being is just being in this roller coaster of like different colors and different feelings and huge peaks and valleys, and you want to confidently know that you can use all the colors in the palette. You don't want to use just the colors that you like, and that's about it. Because there's beauty in the whole thing. There's beauty on its richness, on embracing the whole experience for my liking. If not, it's like if you like chocolate cake and you think you should eat chocolate cake every single day of your life because that's what you like, and then probably a month later you're like, and you get depressed because you think now chocolate cake doesn't do it for me. Well, no, it's not that. It's we're not designed to eat chocolate cake every single day. I like it. At least that's my experience. Is that Does that answer your question, Karen?
Yeah, it does. It does. We all need hope because,
Yeah.
as you said, even the biggest dark, we have a smallest light that alone will kill that. All right. Okay. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on guilt? People feel guilty a lot. What do you think about that?
I feel guilty a lot.
Okay.
I do, and actually, it's funny that you mentioned this because, especially before Christmas and before like here celebrating Christmas and the end of the year, and um, I felt even more guilty because I I got like quite ill in terms of, I don't know if whether I got COVID at some point I didn't realize, or this other viruses are quite strong going around, and it's been like one thing after another, and I couldn't get back on my feet to go back to work as I wanted, or do the things that I thought I was going to do, or just also because we have some COVID tests at home, but also sometimes they may not be so reliable, and if you have symptoms, you might as well, take care of others and stay at home, and so it's been difficult to go out and buy presents, or maybe financially it hasn't been as good as other years, obviously because we couldn't work as much, or and I'm also thinking, we don't know, the cases are really going up, so it's a time to think, well, maybe I won't splash in so many presents, because that money may be needed for other things. So I made, what seems like a reasonable decision or whatever. But oh gosh, I've been feeling guilty because I haven't sent the cards, or I haven't talked to my family enough, or you name it, Karen. That's been my learning journey in this past, whatever, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Because I don't see everything, and I don't see everything all the time. So I'll see a little bit now and then, and that's enough. And But it was interesting how guilty I've been feeling. This guilt was just like sitting on burning fire. It was just like, oh no, the cat is hungry. Oh no, I haven't. Every single thing was a good idea for me to feel guilty. And then I thought, what is with this flavor at the moment? So why are we? Why are we? Um, and I had to sit with it and just go, okay. As I said, that okay, there's something there for me to see that I haven't seen yet. Now I can tell myself 1,000 reasons why I should not feel guilty, and that would probably not help me. um, Guilt is only telling me that there's something I think I'm supposed to do or be or perceive or be somewhere or be the kind of person that. And I think I'm not being that. I think that's not if I get very bad source of information. Very bad source of information. I could think I'm being such a bad daughter. I was such a bad sister. My brother, when I talk to him, is gonna just be so disappointed in me. And then I go and talk to him, and it's like, I'm so sorry. I've been telling you we're gonna talk, and then this happened and that happened. She's like, no, I'm fine. I completely made it up. I spent 3 days feeling guilty as like I killed somebody because I didn't talk to my brother. He was absolutely fine. Just like made it up. He didn't think any less of me or stop loving me or so. Now if I go and do something wrong, if I go and do something that is I hurt somebody or I acted on a thought that maybe I thought it was a good thing, but for the other person wasn't. I honestly don't think anybody does something thinking they're doing the wrong thing. I think they're absolutely sure that they're doing the right thing. We all are when we're doing it. But this understanding helps me very quickly realize that if I feel guilty for something that I've done wrong or I said that may have hurt somebody, acting from bad thinking, it soon gives me the information that even though I felt really sure that that was the right thing to do at that point, soon enough, I'm like, oh no, that doesn't feel right. So I go and apologize, or I go and rectify or try to have a talk about you know what I said or you know what I did was that I think that was bad for me to do that or to say that to you. So did you feel like that? So I check. Or I have no problem to go and apologize. It's like no ego I have to save, like there's no, it doesn't make me less of a person. If something makes me a better person to just go and say, no, I thought that was the right thing, but I can see that either you were seeing it differently or I didn't take into consideration that you may be stressed, tired, hungry, that I was seeing it in the wrong way. I would say that's a different flavor of guilt. This one that calls me to action. The other guilt that is like, oh, well, I'm so guilty because I'm not who I'm supposed to be. That is another one that I go into the cow stage, and I'm like, yum, 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 yum. And there's another thing that I could use to, I could when we finish this call, I could finish this call and think, oh gosh, I didn't ask Karen enough about him and how does he feel and how is his family and how is his country doing at the moment? And oh my gosh, I feel so guilty. I could make a whole case of how guilty I should feel for whatever. So, or after this call, I can think, I mean, I don't need to finish the call. I'm already in a place where I feel, wow, how grateful I am for us having this time together. How amazing that you are in India, I'm here, and we are talking like this. How amazing that you want to use time of your day to talk to me about this. I'm so thankful. And then I think, oh, why didn't we do this before? Like, how come we haven't talked to each other before? Like, we've been friends on Facebook for goodness how long, and I could make a whole case of feeling guilty about that. So what I am is really, really thankful. I'm really grateful that we created this space together. I really am.
All right. Okay. Oh, quite inspiring. All right. I noticed that as you keep talking, my mind keeps going calmer and calmer. Okay. Uh, so my next question is that, like, uh, I see that mostly people are stressed about exams, work, interview, even like to do things in their life, even when they have some debt to pay, and when something bad is about to come. So people are feeling stressed a lot more than before. So what would you like say to those people who are stressed, like how they can overcome it?
Oh, guilty as charged also. um, but I will say, and this is not me, this is something I heard the banks on a recording say. Um, have you ever looked back and thought, oh my gosh, I was so nervous about that. I stressed so much about that and I didn't need to.
Yes.
Yeah. So now when I get really stressed about like something, whether I think, how am I going to pay that or what's my work going to look like in January or some event, an exam, my daughter's exam, she's now currently studying for A levels, are really, really difficult. And with the current situation, it's even more. And when I start getting anxious about that and stressed about that, then, well, okay, so what's that about? What do I think I know to be this worried about that? What do I think is going to happen? Because those alarms are are telling me that something terrible is going to happen, or I need to prepare myself just in case a lion is about to eat me now. Right? So if a lion is about to eat me, it would be great if I start running or I play dead, so or I hide somewhere. or I try to get as much meat out of my freezer as I can, right? So something. But if there's no lion that is about to eat me, and I'm playing dead on the floor, something doesn't add up. Sort of like if those alarm bells are to tell you, well, okay, be prepared in case, if you can be prepared. Some things you can't be prepared for. That's life. So when you're there, you'll know what to do, because that's how we are put together. That's the essence of who we are. Once we are in the situation, if we think about it, once we are in the situation, we know what to do. We know what to do. Um, and again, also give yourself a break. You're getting stressed out. You're just having a feeling about a thought. Burnt toast. Burnt toast. You thought about something, you start going, oh, scary. Okay. Now, if you keep putting bread at the same temperature in the toaster, you're going to keep burning toast. So what I'm saying is, if on top of that thinking that made you stress, you put more story because you are afraid. So if you think, oh, doesn't seem that I'm going to go back to work in January. Oh, right. So I start going, stress. Oh, then if I don't go back to work in January, how am I going to get the money to pay for the rent, and how am I going to get food? And if I don't have rent and the food, oh, now we're all, me and my daughter are living in the streets and we are starving, and it's cold outside and we have lost everything we have. And I could keep adding, thinking so quickly, builds up so quickly. But if I find myself doing that, I can have some compassion for how much I want, to provide for me and my daughter. Like, I don't want us to be in that sort of situation. I'm a human being and I get scared. That's okay. But if I'm in that situation, I might as well just try to get myself from that. I'm building story over story over story, because the thing is, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think I know. Going back to like what happened with my dad, I think I know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody saw the pandemic coming. Nobody saw any of the amazing, great things coming. They just came when they came, and they come when they come. You can, you can put a seed in the ground, you can water it, and that seed is going to grow. It's completely up to nature and its own intelligence. We don't know. We can't say at this time on that day this is gonna go. We don't know. We think we know, but um, it's okay to be stressed. It's okay. It's okay as far as you don't take yourself seriously. In We are really, really bad sources of information. We are the worst to give us news about anything. Um, that would be my thing. Also, just be kind to yourself. Be gentle with your thinking, and don't do to yourself something you wouldn't do to other people. Don't treat yourself so harsh. Don't say such cruel words to yourself that you would find it even difficult to say to the person that you don't like the most or whatever. Like I used to. Now I'm a lot better, but I used to say things to myself that were incredibly cruel. And at some point I thought, would I say this to anybody? I would not have that amount of cruelty in my heart to say that to anybody. So why do I think I have the right to say that to myself? What makes me less than anybody else? That I think I can treat myself that way. Just we are not doing ourselves any favors when we think we are pushing ourselves to be better. There are constant, terrible critics. We stop saying how much we do, how much little things go a long way. You don't need to know. You go to a shop and that day is saying, hello, how are you? And you just have a little chat to the person who is there, and that could have made their day. And you think you're not doing enough, right? You and me can think, oh, I'm not doing enough with the principles. I don't have 3 million clients or whatever. I'm not, my bank account is not within the millions, so not even close. So, gosh, Karen, you send me a message and you say, oh, it would be lovely to have a talk. And I think, yes, and here we are. And we don't know who we're going to touch with this talk, or, what's going to happen, or we don't know. This could be for somebody as huge as that video that I saw from Bill Pettit, or you never know. You and me treat ourselves kindly. That already changes the world. You and me just go around, be nicer to ourselves. That brings a different conversation with anybody we have around. That changes the world. We don't have to write the bestseller book, or have the super duper radio program, or be the top speaker at whatever conference. Like little drops that fill the ocean, little tiny moves that make this planet be in a different place in the galaxy.
All right. Oh, cool. All right. So, all right. So I would like to ask you the last question. By the way, you do know how to connect with humans.
We all do. Which would be
So,
lovely, actually, to have you, Karen. I'm going to say in here, we would love you to have you in the series. We have actually, this is part of my guilt, the confession time. We took a break because I felt really tired, and I gave myself that. Also, Wayne, yeah. So we took a little bit of a break until we start. Well, I say until we start the new year. We think we're gonna start probably maybe after January again. We still have, people that we have invited, and we didn't finish the second part of the 7th series, I think, of how to connect with humans. So, and we have people waiting that we told we want them to be there. So, um, so here's your official invitation to be in our series. We would love to have you
thank you.
if we will honored with your presence.
I'm tired. All right. Anyway, time is getting over, so we'll make it quick. Last question.
Yeah.
I have to make it like quick in 2 minutes, and that is how to connect with humans, how to be social, how to talk to people naturally.
Right. When I thought of that name for the series, I thought it was a bit of a joke. It was like how to connect with humans. It's like, how will the drop of the ocean connect with each other? It's like this one thing, Carolina, it's like we're all connected, right? Um, but yet it seems to be an area where we don't know how to connect with each other. In an era where we have more and more possibilities of connecting, right? Like you can use the phone, you can use WhatsApp, you can use in person, you can use this, you can use that. So, but social skills seem to be lacking. Um, and I took that as a little cheeky wink from the universe, going like go do something, have fun, play, don't be afraid of doing something. All it takes is saying hello. All it takes is just looking at the other person and found something in common, or just something. It's just something. Oh, that's a lovely shirt. I mean, it's a lovely shirt. And then we can have a conversation about your shirts and dressing up or not. Or I can say, I love your hair, like, oh, it looks amazing. Or what kind of earpod things or whatever you're wearing, or um I don't know. How are you? How's your family? How's your day? Get interested in the other person. Like, you know enough about yourself. Like, you don't want to go there and talk for she says about like 2 hours after talking a lot about herself, but you know, just be generally interested. That would be my advice. I get really interested in people. I really do. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Uh, I love people. I love their stories. I love what they bring to the table. I I always think people are interesting, pretty much. Yeah, that would be my just go and take that little second of worry of whatever. You're gonna make yourself look like an idiot. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna be remembered in the wall of fame as, the idiot who'd said hello to somebody. So, and if you do, what? That'd be it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So that'll be great. So if people would like to follow you, how can they follow you? Do you have a website or a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so we have a website that is back to with the number two bu.co.uk with Wayne. We are on Facebook and on Instagram as How to Connect with Humans. You have all the series we have recorded that they're all free on YouTube as How to Connect with Humans. And you can find me as Carolina Barker or Carolina Gallardo Barker, which is my maiden name, my Spanish name. And please, yeah, contact me. I'm very, very reachable. Apart from, I have to say, Karen, I apologize. I'm not that good with the Instagram Messenger. It doesn't seem to tell me I have so many messages, but I have to move with the era and be more Instagram than probably Facebook. Like you see, that's learning stuff. Like, so I took a bit longer to reply than if I had a message from you on another from somewhere else. But you told me how to like Skype would work so much better in this way, and see, so I learned something else. So it's been amazing.
Beautiful.
So I want to say, Karen, thank you so much for creating this space, and please count with me and with Wayne for anything you may want to create. And if you want to have something that we can help with, if you want to have a conversation that you would like to translate into what language do you usually speak in India, or is there more than one?
Yeah, we speak Hindi.
You speak Hindi, okay. So say if you want to do something where you want to translate into Hindi, and I will be very happy to do that. So that it doesn't have always to be in English, or and help you build a community in Hindi. If there's anything I can do, like I definitely could like help try to build that up if you want to.
Right. All right. And I will leave your details in the description. And it has been a great time with you. I'm honored and blessed. And really, talking to you has been a great time. And like when you talk, I feel calmer. And so, so thank you very much, Sheila. It was a great time. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. See you soon.